in welcoming to Philadelphia and welcoming to the Walnut Club, Harriette Hale.
Oh, thank you. Do you want this? Hey, Philadelphia.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Everyone hear me? Are you good on the mic here? Perfect. Are we all right down here? Take your time. No rush. It won't shut up. It shut up. We're good. Alrighty. Marla, thank you so much for a beautiful introduction. She's a master manifester in the making. You just watch this space. And Hotel Palomar, thank you very much for having me here. Walnut ladies, it's so amazing and humbling to be in your presence. Thank you for letting me serve in this way. I'm going to try and give you as much as I can in this hour. Let me pop my crystal down. Okay, so the reason I am here today, ladies and gents, is to bring you into your full, unapologetic power as a leader, as a healer, as a truth teller, as a pioneer for the new age, as a force to be reckoned with. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
Now, Marla told me last night, and I didn't know this, that Philadelphia is the land of the founding fathers, right? I call on you, Philadelphia women, to be the founding females that take this truth that I am about to share with you and take it global and contribute to the awakening and contribute to the enlightenment and contribute to this movement of Rise, Sister, Rise, because ladies, it's your time. And men, I call on you to support these women in this incredible work that they're doing, this work that we're doing together, because the world is changing, the world is becoming a better place. And the Dalai Lama very famously said, the Western woman will change the world. And I believe she is. And I believe that woman is sat in front of me today, inside every single one of you. I have so much faith in humanity, and I have so much faith in women, and I have so much faith in the divine feminine that I took on this crazy mission to fly around the world and do 17 stops in 6 weeks so that I could share this with you. So this is stop 14 of 17. This is normally a 4-hour talk and workshop, but we've split it up. So I'm going to do an hour with you guys tonight where I'm going to share as much information as I can. I urge you, if you haven't yet booked into tomorrow's workshop, to please do that, because that's where I physically get my hands on you and I activate light consciousness, which I'm going to explain to you. But it's an amazing, incredible experience, and it's very, very empowering. So if you're not down for tomorrow, please consider it. Marla, I think we're 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. tomorrow. I appreciate it's the middle of a working day, but I guarantee you I am not coming back on this tour. One, it was insane to start with. Two, I've just found out I'm pregnant. Thank you. So tomorrow, the workshop, I'm not just saying this for saying its sake. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I would love to get to serve you again and meet you and work with you more personally on a much deeper level. Okay? Right. Okay, so the problem we've been facing so far, and I'm sure you can all resonate with this, we hustle. Who hustles? Who hustles the crap out of everything they do, right? Okay, we struggle. We struggle. Who struggles? Yeah, we do. I know you feel it. I feel it too. We suppress our emotions. And we ignore that inner voice inside of us that is absolutely bursting to get out. And we have been running on an operating system that's 3,000 years out of date, because we have been running underneath a patriarchy in a very masculine mindset. And we have been consistently looking outwards for the answers instead of looking inwards to our intuition. And the problem with all of this hustle and struggle and ignorance and suppression and outward searching, you know why that's a problem? Because that's not who we are, women. That's a masculine energy, and men do it fabulously well. High five, men. You've been killing this. They do hustle effortlessly, but it's not what we're built for. It's not what we're designed for. Women are naturally intuitive beings. We've kind of been doing this whole thing wrong. But it's our time, okay? The divine feminine is rising, and I'm going to show you how to have a life of ease and grace and flow and abundance, obviously, without fear, without guilt, and without ever having to ask yourself how. Because how is one of the most toxic words that you have in your language. How many times a day do you ask yourself how? How's this going to work? How's that going to happen? How am I going to get all them people to my event? How am I going to catch that flight? How am I going to get the kids to school on time? How am I going to manage to prep all that food and get to the gym and complete my to-do list? Right? How? Because we are looking externally for these answers. And when you tap into light consciousness, you don't need to ask how. You just know. And founding females of Philadelphia, you are some of the first women in the world to get this knowledge. This isn't in a book. It's not in a film. It's not on the internet. You can't download this shit from Google. This is why I have to share it with you, because you're ready. But before I share with you all the stuff that I have divinely downloaded, and when I say download from here moving forward, I am not talking about Google. I am talking about divine download, connection to source energy, to universe. But before I share with you all that I have downloaded, I want to share a little bit about my story. And I'll keep it short because I want to give you as much of this information as I can. So 10 years ago, when I was 19, I set up my very first company. And by 25, I was very successful. I was earning high six figures, and I was nailing it. I was killing life, and I was going around like I am the big I am, and I was all that, and I was cocky, and I was arrogant, as most of us are in our mid-20s, and I was naive. And 3 people that worked for me at the time in one of my companies decided that they were going to take it upon themselves, and they were going to take my client list, and they were going to duplicate my business model, and they were going to set up a competing company less than 1 mile away. And they did it all whilst pretending to be me. So all my clients, well, 90% of my clients got fleeced, and they went and paid their money to this competing company that was set up by 3 of my staff. So overnight, I lost 90% of my clients, and I lost £54,000 worth of income, which is about 67,000 US, and I was broke. And I was leasing a building in central London in the UK that was costing me £250,000 a year, and I had no clients. So I was broke. I was emotionally broke. I was financially broke. I was spiritually broke. I completely gave up. And I blamed myself because I was cocky, because I was naive, because I rubbed it in everyone's face, because I didn't have the legal contracts to stop them doing this shitty thing that they did to me. And everybody around me at the time, my parents, God bless them including, said, "It's okay, you're young. Go bankrupt, close the business, go get a job. You'll be fine. You're very intelligent. You'll be fine. Just shut it all down, go get a job." My accountant said to me, "Harriette, we can't see a way out of this. Your parents are right, get a job." My solicitor said, "Well, you should have paid us to get those contracts in place, but you didn't, we can't help you. Go get a job." My boyfriend, at the time, who I didn't realise was cheating on me and stealing from me, also said, "Go get a job." Now obviously he just wanted to make sure that I kept lining his pockets. But he said, "Go get a job." The friends who I thought were friends, the ones who worked for me, I couldn't even turn to. I was on my own, and I was literally at rock bottom. I was terrified, and I had a choice. I can either do something about this, or I can go home to my parents as a failure and move back to Yorkshire, which is in the north of England. And there was a tiny little voice, tiny little voice inside of me that said, "Just try. Just try, Harriette, just try one more time. And you've already built this business up once. You can do it again. We've still got the marketing strategy, we've still got the drive, we've still got the know-how, we figured out what doesn't work and what does. Just do it again." So 6 months of being in therapy, because I did try to take my own life, I was suicidal. After 6 months in therapy, I decided to get my shit together, and I decided to try again. And I tried implementing the very same strategies that I'd used the first time round. The very masculine, patriarchal, go-getter, hustle, struggle vibes. And guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work, and 6 months after trying, after taking 6 months off from life, I was a year down the line and even further into debt. So at this point, I was nearing on $250,000, sorry, just doing the translation, $250,000 in debt. I had people knocking on my door. I was shit scared. I was terrified. And there was still this voice that said, just try. So I did that thing that Marla did, and I discovered the secret. I discovered the law of attraction, and oh my God, it changed my life. So I just got on this manifesting bandwagon, and I tried to do it the very masculine way, the very hustle struggle way that we've all been conditioned to do, and for a while it did work. Spirituality opened my eyes, it cracked me open, it gave me a new light, it gave me a new sense of hope, and a few years down the line, I'd actually built that company back up, and I'd set up 5 more companies. So a year ago, I was still doing extremely well. I have my 6 companies going, earning very healthy 6 figures, still trying to use the law of attraction, but something wasn't quite working and I was getting frustrated. Now on Instagram, I had this fabulous life. The Range Rover, the house, the Jimmy Choos, all the nice dresses. I seemed to have all the clients, and I was still coaching, you know, and still teaching people how to get through their success. But honestly, ladies, and I'll share this with you, behind the scenes, there were still credit cards, overdrafts, loans, loads of money mindset shit going on. This was about a year ago. This was February last year. So I made another decision. I listened to that voice, that intuition in my head that said, just try. Go that bit further. So I went further down the spirituality route because the law of attraction had kind of stopped working for me at this point. I wasn't manifesting jack shit apart from a bad mood and lots of wine on the weekends. So I turned to Kundalini Yoga. Interesting journey. I then turned to energy healing and became an energy healer practitioner myself. And through my energy healing, I then initiated as a priestess of light. So I stand before you today not only as the UK's leading money mindset expert, but also as a priestess of light. A priestess of light basically just means I'm spiritual as fuck, right? But in my role as priestess, I started to develop this connection with the divine. And I say light, but you guys can interpret that as love, as source, as God, as Buddha, as Allah. I'm not religious, but I don't turn my back on religion either. This works whatever your religious or spiritual delineation is. It doesn't matter. I say light, you take that to mean whatever you will. So when I started having my connection to light consciousness, I was having a conversation one day. Sorry, you can hear me. I was having a conversation one day with divinity, and they said, Harriette, I think the world is ready to hear something new about the universe. I said, oh yeah, all right, tell me, what is it? So we're going to download the universal laws into you. I said, yeah, I know about the law of attraction. I said, no, not the law of attraction, the universal laws, 10 new universal laws. Okay, interesting. So they downloaded them into me, and I started playing with them, getting used to them, figuring out exactly what they were. Like I said, there's no books on this, no films, not till I write them anyway. And I started playing with them. And in that time since I've downloaded the universal laws, I have become a self-made millionaire. I can guarantee you I have no debt. Genuinely what you see is what you get. And I am now traveling the world, transforming lives by the hundreds. And this I attribute all to light consciousness. And this is what I want to share with you. Okay, are you ready? You want to hear it? Yeah. Of course you do. Okay. Right. Who knows why they're here? Okay. All right, some. Do you guys know about the Incarnation Intentions? Well, you do now. It's on your handout. I hope you all have one. So this, again, is something that was downloaded into my consciousness. And when I heard this and understood this, I thought, my God, wow, this makes so much sense. And this helped me to completely reframe my mindset around everything. So every single soul on this planet is born or incarnated with the same two intention incarnations, right? Sorry, incarnation intentions. Let me say that the right way around. Every single person on this planet is born with the very same two intentions. So intention number one is to have a human, physical, emotional experience. I think we're all doing that, right? Everyone here human, physical, emotional, having an experience? And when I say that, I mean sex, I mean food, I mean friendships, I mean tears, I mean Netflix, I mean duvet days, I mean driving across the country, I mean putting your feet in the sand and feeling the sun on your skin. Because when you're in light form or as a soul, as a spirit, you can't do that. So the first intention is to have this human, physical, emotional experience. But why? Because that seems kind of obvious, right? But why? When we have a human, physical, emotional experience, we can fulfill incarnation intention number 2, which is to contribute to the collective consciousness, to raise the vibration of the planet for the highest, greatest good of all. This is basically to be in service and make the world a better place, right? So when you have your human, physical, emotional experience, you are actually helping the planet. How many times have you said to a girlfriend or a partner or a sibling or even a child, oh, I understand how you're feeling. I get that. I've been there. And you sympathize and you become this amazing healer without even realizing this is what you're doing. So every single experience that you have, every single emotion you go through, this is takeaway number 1 that I want you to take with you. Every single experience you have is an opportunity for you to serve another human being. When you serve another human being, you heal that human being. And when you heal that human being, you are raising the vibration of the planet. When you raise the vibration of the planet, you are contributing to this vision that we all have to make the world a better place. Because we're all up shit street a little bit here, right? Politics, healthcare, the plastic problem, certain leaders in power that I dare not mention because I'm in the wrong country, but I can tell you the one that's running the UK ain't doing a great job, right? There's lots of shit going wrong. It's your responsibility to start raising the vibration of the planet. This was actually your intention. This is why you incarnated, to help to make a positive impact, to raise the vibration of the planet. So you have to remember that everything happens for a reason. And when you are having one of those days where you've stubbed your toe, you've lost your car keys, the kids are driving you up the wall, somebody spilled coffee down your top, you didn't get that client you really wanted, your hair looks like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, and you're 2 bottles of wine in on a Wednesday night watching reruns on Netflix with a bucket of ice cream, even in those moments, I want you to remember everything is happening for a reason, and the emotions that you are experiencing are a service to the greatest, highest good of all. So next time something shit happens to you, promise me this. You'll go, this is happening for a reason. I'm just going to run with it, because Harriette says. Okay? Because Harriette says. Because right now, you know, until you've got the full light consciousness, that's enough. It's kind of a fake it till you make it, right? But it works, trust me. And being on this tour, I tell you, I have been through some shit. I have had moments of going, Mom, get me out. Get me on a plane. I'm going home. I've been eaten alive by mosquitoes. I just can't do this. That was in Australia, in the bush. I won't go there. Right. Incarnation intention number 2 is to contribute to the collective consciousness, to raise the vibration of the planet for the highest, greatest good of all. Which sounds great in theory, and you're like, yeah, let's make the world a better place. And then you sit and you think about it and you go, how the fuck am I meant to do that? I'm just one person. What kind of impact can I have? Now, if you come to tomorrow's workshop, I will reveal to you what your soul purpose is. And I can do this through your numerology and through a palm reading and various psychic shit that's constantly going through my head now since I decided I'm priestess, okay? Being clairvoyant really helps. But if you come tomorrow, I will help you with this. But in the meantime, in order for you to fulfill this incarnation intention, here's what I want you to do. Take whatever you already do. whoever you already are, however you already be, in your job, in your role as a mother, as a sister, as a friend, as a daughter, in the way that you conduct yourself, your behaviors, your actions, your decisions, and do all of this in alignment with the universal laws. Okay? This is how we start fulfilling these intentions. So one, remember everything happens for a reason and everything that you experience is a service. It makes you feel better, promise. And number two, take what you do, who you are and who you be, and do all of that in alignment with the universal laws. The law of co-creation. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is so jammy. Oh, it's my favourite. Well, I suppose the law of abundance is my favourite because I make a shit ton of money out of that one. But the law of co-creation is really where it begins. So you've all heard of the law of attraction. I don't need to go into how the law of attraction works, okay? The law of attraction was downloaded into human consciousness over 100 years ago. You all know Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. This was sort of the beginnings, the very first stirrings of the idea of manifesting. Now, the law of attraction dictates whatever you think, you attract, right? And it talks about mantras, and it talks about vision boards, and it talks about staying in a high vibration. If you stay in the vibration of the thing that you want to manifest, you will manifest. So just be in the vibration of money. Well, that's all well and bloody good, but how the hell does money vibrate, right? Okay, so this is kind of why it stopped working, because the consciousness of the planet has shifted. We've developed. We are more conscious, we are more awake, we are more ready as women to receive and to create and to raise the vibration of the planet. So along comes the law of co-creation. Now, the law of co-creation is the absolute dog's bollocks because it takes the emphasis off of you to hustle and struggle and manifest on your own, and it puts that on the universe. So with the law of co-creation, it is a co-creation between you and the universe. It is no longer your responsibility to do all the manifesting yourself. Sounds cool, right? So the idea is, the best analogy I have is if you can imagine you were an artist. And we are all artists, right? Imagine you're making a sculpture. I'm clearly not an artist. Imagine you're making a sculpture. And when you make a sculpture, say we make a sculpture of a woman, the first thing you would do is you would get that wire mesh stuff, and you would make the frame. You'd make the basic outline. Are we all in agreement? There's going to be a sculpture in the room now that's going to be like, no. Let's just run with the analogy. So you make the frame of the thing that you want with this wire mesh frame. And then you would start adding on the clay and the papier-mâché and the whatever, to fill it out and make it actually the thing. Co-creation works the same way. You provide the wire mesh frame, the basic outline of the thing that you want. The universe comes along and does the rest. It fills in the bulk of what it is that you want, provides all the detail, provides all the how, basically does all the work for you. So all you have to do is create the blueprint of the thing that you want to manifest, the outline. I call this the light grid. Apologies, that's not on your handout, but that's what I call it, the light grid. And the light grid is activated by using your manifesting matrix. You all have a manifesting matrix inside of you. You all have the Holy Trinity inside of you. Now, the female Holy Trinity, actually men, you have this as well. I'm used to speaking to a room of women. I love that there's men here. Thank you for being here. You all have this inside of you. So do you guys know about chakras? Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. Amazing. So this is dead easy. Right. Your Holy Trinity. Third eye chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra. Okay? So to activate the manifesting matrix using your Holy Trinity, you see the thing you want, you feel the thing you want, and you speak the thing you want. And then do you know what happens, ladies? These three energy centers drop into your womb space, and from your womb space, you give life to that which is lifeless. And you're all that powerful. You know you are. And even men have a sacral chakra from which they can give birth, because men provide the seed, right? So to activate the manifesting matrix, to create this light grid, you see it, you feel it, you speak it, and then the hard bit is you surrender. You completely let go. Because what happens, you see, when you feel, and when you speak, you're creating energy. Because you can't kill energy, we all know this, you cannot get rid of energy. You can change energy and you can create energy. So what happens when you create energy using your Holy Trinity is you send new energy out into the universe. This energy turns into its own form of the light grid. If you want to kind of visualize an outline of perhaps the house you want to manifest, it's like the blueprint of the architectural drawings, but stood up in 3D, and instead of blue, it's light. It's the light grid, not the blueprint, okay? This is all you have to do. And then you must surrender. And this is the hard bit, because we love to control everything, right? Because we're so used to it, because the men are useless. So we do everything. We're used to doing everything. I'm kidding, men. I'm sorry, I do love you. But we're so used to doing everything. We're so used to being responsible for everything. We're so used to controlling everything. So you need to surrender. And this is exactly what Marla managed to do with the film, with the showcase that she's taking you all to, the premiere. Because she wasn't aware the film was even out, she was forced to surrender. She completely forgot about it. And Universe came along with a little email in her inbox and went, ta-da! And it was done. And it was beautiful. My best co-creation well, maybe not my best, but one of my most recent co-creations was when Divinity told me to get my ass off my Instagram screen. I'm addicted to Instagram. Please all follow me because I'm constantly on there giving life. Divinity said, get off your Instagram. Get out from behind your laptop screen. Get out from your cushy, comfortable life, Harriette. Get on the road and go deliver this in person because you'll make a far greater impact and the world needs your light. And I went, fuck off, no. I'm not going. I'm not going because I'm quite happy here. And they said, no, you're going. And back and forth, we had a long conversation. And I did end up pricing it up, reaching out to a few people, trying to figure out how much money I was going to need to make this happen, where I was going to go, who was going to help me, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it was a mammoth task. I organised the whole thing, right, well, I didn't. I co-created the whole thing 1 month before I left the UK. 1 month. Because I manifested divine beings like Marla, and all the other delightful women who have hosted me in every other city. So actually, I kind of did naff all to make this happen. 17 stops in 6 weeks. Now, my biggest hurdle was the cost, because I had to get on flights and I had to book all of my accommodation. And, well, I'm a bit of a princess and I like my first class luxuries. So I'm flying first class and I'm staying in fancy hotels. Thank you, Palomar. I love it here. Did you all see my bathtub on Instagram last night? I went for a swim in that thing. Anyway, so I priced it up, and it came to $30,000 for the flights and the accommodation. So I went back to Divinity, my little channel on my meditation cushion, and I said, I haven't got that money. And they said, yes, you do. It's in your savings account. And I said, nuh-uh. Me and Rick, we're trying for a baby. I didn't know I was pregnant. We're trying for a baby. That's for the baby. That's for private healthcare, that's for nursery, that's for nannies, that's for all the stuff that babies need. Mum says they're expensive. I've put that money in a savings account. I'm not touching that. That's not fair. You can't ask me to do that. And they said, okay, well, how about we send you the money? And I laughed. I went, yeah, all right, the Bank of Universe, funny. Go on then. 48 hours later, £30,000 in my bank account. 2 new clients approached me and said, we love what you do. We want to do your Priestess Protégé program. Can we pay you? Can we start working? We know you're going on tour. Can we work it in? Can you stop and see us? I said, yeah, go on then. How do you want to pay? In full or payment plan? They both went in full. And I was like, wow. And I guess because there was that part of me that said, it's either my way or the highway, I surrendered to it. There was no way I was going to do this tour unless I was going to be looked after, because it's grueling enough as it is. You know, and there was no way on this earth I was going to I have put my hand in my own pocket, but not in my child's pocket, yeah, to do it. So I just allowed the co-creation with the universe. I didn't send a single email to get that money. I didn't put it out there that I needed the money. I didn't start a big sales pitch. I didn't put a Facebook ad out. I didn't drive myself mad with tracking pixels. I didn't do any of that. I just surrendered and said, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if I'm going, universe will provide. And boy, did she provide. So that's the law of co-creation. If you have any questions after, We can come back around. I have to power through. The law of assignment. Okay. Anyone read Gabby Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back? Okay, a few, cool. She talks about universal assignments. It's very, very similar. So the universe has a way of sending us, they call it assignments, I call it hard-ass lessons that are really unfair. But they insist it's assignments. So the universe sends us assignments anytime we need to learn or grow or expand or change path. So if we're not doing things that are fulfilling our incarnation intentions, if we're not contributing to raising the vibration of the planet, if we're not serving the highest, greatest good of all, if we're not serving ourselves, if we are doing things to sabotage, if we are doing things to keep ourselves off track, if we are doing things that aren't creating abundance and impactful change, the universe will send along an assignment which we will immediately recognize as something that's highly unfair, almost illegal, just absolutely not right, and we'll dismiss it and go, the world's against me, right? We've done that so many times, haven't we? When things are going wrong, and you're like, oh, universe doesn't love me, this manifesting shit is shit. It's just not working. Every time you get one of those moments, you have to go, I know I don't want to look at this, but let's look at this, because there's an assignment here. And for me, my assignments showed up in my relationships. So I was one of those serial daters when I was younger. I couldn't stand to be on my own, so I used to overlap boyfriends. Terrible, I know. So I'd be coming to the end of one relationship and I'd know, so I'd quickly find another one, so that I'd already be in that before the other one ended, and then when that one came to the end, I was like, oh shit, find another one. Because I was terrified of being on my own, because I didn't like the person that I was, because I wasn't comfortable being me. And I think this is quite common in people in their teens and their early 20s. But for me, this assignment kept showing up in that every single one of these men was an asshole. But I'm not going to I'm not going to make it pretty. They were. I was raped. I was abused. I was cheated on. One of them drained my bank account. They all abused me in some way, shape, or form. And I never saw that I was in the same relationship but with different men every single time, because I was ignoring my assignment. And my assignment was to learn to love myself. My assignment was to learn to get comfortable with myself, right? And I had another assignment that was showing up with clients. So with my coaching clients, I'm very picky about who I take on, because I recognize action takers, and I recognize people that I can make really good success with. So, I'm like, yeah, you're an action taker. I know that you're going to be a success story. We'll have you earning hundreds of thousands in, weeks. Not a problem. And then there came a time where these clients just kind of stopped appearing, and all the people I was doing discovery calls with were just problematic people, okay? Sorry. Suffering from anxiety, or just not really having a clear vision about what they wanted, just loads of underlying stuff going on. And I just kept saying to the universe, but I want my good clients, I want my good clients. And then I realized this was an assignment, because each one of these clients that was showing up to me with issues weren't their issues, they were my issues. And this was my assignment, to work with them, actually to get over my damn self and stop being such a princess and serve where people needed me to serve, to show up in my humility and my commitment. Everyone got an idea of what assignments are? So when you see one, you look at it, don't run away. The law of karma. Ooh. Okay, it's not as bad as it sounds. Karma's been bandied around as a bad word for a long time, right? You've all heard about instant karma. You do a bad thing, karma bites you on the ass. The law of karma is not actually about this. In fact, karma's a good thing. But again, conditioning and loads of patriarchy crap going on. Anything that's got anything to do with anything remotely spiritual has typically been branded a bad thing for thousands of years. The law of karma dictates that whatever you have done in a previous life, if you didn't manage to fulfill perhaps your intention in that previous life, or you didn't fulfill your goal, or perhaps you kind of missed the mark a little bit, that will come back to you in this lifetime. Not to punish you, not to bully you, but just to give you another opportunity to really master that thing that you didn't quite get a grip on. Again, if you come tomorrow, I will show you exactly what your life karma is, using your numerology and your tantric numerology. It's very handy to know. Ironically, my karma is not being in service. So believe it or not, I used to really struggle giving up my time and coaching and listening to other people's shit and helping them through it because I was very judgmental. Like, oh, bitch, please. Seriously, that's your problem? And typically I was very, very judgmental. Like, oh, just get over yourself. You know, I've been on the floor. You can do it. That is not a way to serve. That is not a way to serve. It's not a way to heal. This is not how you raise the vibration of the planet. This is not how you contribute. So when I realized what my karma was and I learned what my karma was, it humbled me. I will wash the feet of my clients if they need that. I will fly halfway around the world if they need that. I will serve. And I do not judge. I do not judge at all anymore. But that was a hard lesson for me. I had to cut out my own tongue to make that happen, spiritually speaking. Yeah, we cool with the law of karma? Law of alignment. This is a very simple one. If you're in alignment, all the other laws work. You tend to fall out of alignment when you allow your negative emotions to get the better of you. So those mornings when perhaps you sleep through your alarm and you wake up in a mad panic and then you don't get breakfast so that by 11:30 you're really grouchy and everything's shit and the whole world's against you and things aren't just going right and there's no Wi-Fi connection and it's raining and you forgot your umbrella and you've got odd socks on and all the stuff's gone wrong and we choose to moan, this is when we're out of alignment. And staying in alignment requires you to be aware of what we call the slight edge. So the slight edge presents itself to us at any given moment. So in those moments perhaps where you stub your toe and you're, oh fuck, bollocks, right, jumping around, you've got a choice. This is a slight edge moment. You have a choice to slip into the negative spiral, which will then continue for the rest of the day, if not the rest of the week, if not the rest of the month. Or you can go, oh, law of alignment. Okay, breathe, happy toe, love and light to the toe. I'm going to choose a high vibration. I'm going to choose a high vibration. Everything is happening for a reason. This is my assignment. This is my assignment to stay high, high vibe, happy, happy, happy. And you're back in alignment. Okay? No, I'm serious, it works. Okay? But you find yourself out of alignment, you're going to be breaking all the other laws. So this is kind of the first one, I suppose, that you really need to recognize is the law of alignment. The law of expansion is the only law on this list that you can't break. Be careful of the law of expansion because it loves you. It loves you so much and it will follow you around and it will multiply you. Whatever mood you are in, whatever you are manifesting, whatever you are creating, the law of expansion will expand. So if you're in a great mood and you're manifesting great things and you start to sell tickets for your event and you're healing loads of people and you're making really positive, impactful change, then you're going to just keep doing more of that because the law of expansion's at work. If you start to moan, if you start to go into anxiety, if you start to go into void and lack and all of those energies which detract from your abundance, you're going to get more of that too. Be wary of the law of expansion, be careful what you wish for. The law of reflection, very much like the law of assignment, but the law of reflection shows up as mirrors. So this is, rather than us experiencing the assignment like we do with the law of assignment, the law of reflection shows an external situation that we get to witness. So typically this happens in friend circles, with family. You see someone going through something. Who's ever been in a situation where you've got a friend who's going through something so awful that actually you just didn't really want to go there? You just didn't want to get involved. It was just too negative and too depressing what was going on over there, and actually you're quite happy in your bubble. So you're just going to wait till they get through it. That's the law of reflection. What's showing up for them is showing up for you. But sometimes it's easier to walk away from uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable environments. How many of you have witnessed abuse or something happening in the workplace that shouldn't be happening, but you walk away from it because it's easier, because it's more comfortable to walk away? In order for you to really honor the law of reflection, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you need to recognize that everything that's showing up in front of you is an opportunity for you to learn something about yourself and an opportunity for you to serve the greatest, highest good of all humanity. Okay? The law of morality. Okay, this one's quite straightforward. Be a good person. Be a good moral person. But the law of morality also has a flip side. How many of you here are healers, teachers, coaches? How many of you here impact in a positive way? Just show of hands. Okay, fab. Law of morality, quite specific to you guys. Now, when we're good people and we do good things, we can have a tendency to over-deliver and overcompensate and kind of overgive. And the thing is with the law of morality is it asks you to really stop and look at somebody that you're trying to help and ask yourself, if I jump in and help them, does that serve their greatest, highest good? Or do they actually need to experience this suffering or this thing that they're going through so they can go on their own journey of ascension and spiritual growth and discovery? Because it's very quick, especially as an energy healer, when someone's suffering, to go, oh honey, I'll just do some Reiki on you, or I'll just line up your chakras, or I'll just do this, or I'll just do that, I'll do it for you, I'll just fix it for you. This breaks the law of morality. So you have to develop discernment here and decide who needs your help, who benefits from your help, and who needs to walk their own journey. And this helps you to honour the law of morality and contribute to this consciousness of the planet, this raising of the vibration of the planet. The law of alchemy is a reminder to every single one of you that you are powerful. So powerful, in fact, that you can change energy whenever you like. So if you're in a shit mood, you can alchemize your own energy. If somebody else is in a shit mood, you can alchemize their energy. You can also alchemize the energy of your bank balance. I wish I had the time to show you how to do this. I will, come tomorrow. And there's a million other ways I can share this with you. But it's a very, very powerful one. We forget how powerful we are. Women were burned at the stake for being witches. A witch is just a wise woman. A wise woman is someone who knows how to manipulate energy. So this truth, this power, this gift, this magic, it's been forgotten. Men can do this too, by the way. They were called wizards. It's just been forgotten. The law of alchemy has been downloaded into my consciousness so I can remind you that you are this powerful, that you do have access to this magic. And alchemy is only the changing of energy. And you are energy, and the universe is energy. So you have that power. This is the law of alchemy. The law of abundance. My favourite. Well, the easiest one to make money out of. But you have to understand this. Every single person has a right and a responsibility to abundance. You would not be born into the Western world unless you were meant to use your gifts to make money, to fulfill your incarnation intentions, right? I could not do this. I could not be stood here right now. I could not be serving at this level unless I was abundant. If you guys had a shit ton of money in your bank account, imagine how many more people you could serve, because you're all good people. There is no danger in this room that if you are armed with hundreds of thousands and millions of pounds, that you will do the dirty with it, right? You all know yourselves well enough. This is why each and every one of you has this right and has this responsibility. And it's very easy to go, yeah, all right, I've got a right to abundance. Okay, yeah, she says. It's even easier to go, I don't have a responsibility. And this is where we all fall down, because it's so easy to go, oh, well, it's all right for her. She can make loads of money. She's got an army of staff. She's got all this knowledge. It's not for me. It's not for me. I can't do that. No, you have a responsibility to abundance. And I get really strict with my clients on this. You step up to the plate and you start owning this responsibility, because until you realize, until you remember how powerful you are still going to wallow in your own money mindset crap. Okay? You have a responsibility to abundance. Why on earth else would you be here if you were not meant to be improving this planet? Tell me. There is no other reason that you are here other than to fulfill these incarnation intentions, to contribute to the consciousness, to raise the vibration, to change the world with positive impact. You cannot do that without abundance. So you remember this and you ingrain it into yourselves. And every time you catch yourselves fighting with money, moaning about money, playing the victim role, doing all of that stuff that we all do, and I know I do it too, you go, no. Not only do I have a right to abundance, I have a responsibility to abundance. And abundance does not just mean material wealth, FYI. Abundance, the true meaning of abundance, is the convergence of spiritual wealth and material wealth. You cannot have one without the other, which is why I'm so eager to share this universal truth with you. Because I can give you money mindset shit all day long. You can download all of that free from my website. But it won't make the blindest bit of difference unless you have the spiritual wealth as well. If you disregard abundance, if you walk away from this responsibility, you start to break all the other laws and you find yourself in that very same position. And we've all lived the same story and the same year again and again and again and again because we're constantly breaking these laws. Step into your power. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout. Right. The Law of Divinity. Oh, we're doing good for time. The Law of Divinity is a new one. So, back in, do you guys know about Atlantis, Lemurian, the Golden Age? Okay, good, I'm getting some nods. Way back then, there were only certain people on the planet who had divinity. The gods and the goddesses that we learnt about in Greek mythology. They had the power of divinity, and the humans were the humans. The consciousness of the planet has shifted because, frankly, we're living in dark times, and it really is time that we all stepped up to the plate and did something about it. But in order to do that, we all need access to this magic that we've lost. We all need access to divinity. We all have access to this light consciousness, to this light channel that I have, and that many of my clients have, and many of my mentors have. So the Law of Divinity states that we are now in a time of duality. And duality means that you live in two states of being. You get to be human, and you get to be divine. So I don't want any one of you in front of me thinking, oh, well, I'm just little old me, I'm just human, I can't possibly master all this stuff that she's talking about. You can. The Law of Divinity says you can. You are human, and you are divine. You are human, and you are divine. Okay? And you've all got it in you. This is how we look inward and access this consciousness, this truth, and this light. And we apply all of these laws, and we fulfill our incarnation intentions, and we make the world a better place. Right? So, raise your hand if you know you are meant to do more in this world. Okay? Raise your hand if you know you are here on this planet for a purpose far greater than what you previously thought before you walked in this room. We got a few nods. Okay. Raise your hand if you're ready to make the quantum leap into this trust and into this faith and into this knowledge. Raise your hand if you want to make a difference in the world. And raise your hand if you want to get paid to make a difference in the world. Right, we're all ready for abundance, okay? So I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to gift you with. A couple are on this sheet. I have a free book on my website. It's free for the moment. money.askharriette.co.uk. 26 tips and tricks to instantly change your money mindset. Please download it. It's my gift for you. I'm not going to put it back on sale for a while. Tomorrow, we have a workshop from 3 till 6. I think it's $97. Yeah, it's $97. It's worth it. I promise you. I'm awesome. And so are you. And I really want to do more of this stuff with you. So tomorrow we're going to do higher self meditation. I'm going to teach you about soul monadic contracts. I'm going to share with you the spirit team. I'm also going to do a light conscious activation, so you suddenly start to wake up to what I'm saying. If any of what I've said today is a bit weird and wonderful, a light consciousness activation will really help you get that. I'm also going to do your numerology with you, so you understand your soul path, your karma, your gift, your destiny, and your light path. And that manifesting matrix that I spoke about, I'm going to get you guys actually actively using that tomorrow, in combination with an identity statement, so that you can walk away at 6 p.m. a completely different person, already manifesting and already calling in mega abundance. It's worth it, I promise. The other thing is my Instagram. Give us a follow, at Harriette Hale. Normally when I'm back in the UK, every Tuesday night I do a free Q&A via Instagram. So I do Instagram Live, and it's an hour of my time, and I happily coach, and I love to do it, and I love to serve in this way. So a week on Tuesday I'll be back home, and I'd love to see some of you there asking me questions and quizzing away. And the final thing is a gift. So on the plane on the way out of the UK, I was again chatting away to Divine Channel, and they said, Harriette, what you're doing is great and we're really grateful and you're going to go do all this light stuff. But what's going to happen when you leave that room? They're all going to be on a high. They're all going to be raring to go with all this new information and all this, stuff that you've done with them. But then days after you leave and weeks after you leave, they're going to slip back into old patterns, old ways, old beliefs, feeling unsupported, feeling unsure, not really knowing what's going on or how they fully implement this, because you've only given them 4 hours and this is lifetime work. And I said, that's a really good point. So I've put together a 12-month program. I have a list here because I crammed so much into this. I've put together a 12-month program that covers, and this is the outline, how the universe works, which I've touched on a little bit, but I'll give you even more stuff that's not in books and not in movies. Your light tools, the spirit team, your abundant mindset, upgraded belief systems, universal rights and responsibilities, including the ones that I've shared today and a few more, how to be an act of service, how to live your life as an act of service whilst being rich, aligned life, conscious business, so you use all of these tools in your business, soul monadic clients, so that you never have to use a marketing funnel ever again, you just call them in, purposeful practice, and how to receive into growth and expansion. And this is exactly how I'm living my life and my business right now. I've done away with marketing spend, I've done away with marketing funnels, I've done away with the old ways of doing things, and I never, ever, ever ask the question, how? And I'm teaching you guys how to do this. Now, typically the only way you could get this information is through one of my mastermind groups, but I've put together this 12-month program. If you go to www.askharriette.co.uk/abundance, it should be on your handout, you can get the full scope of what that is. And this is just a gift to you guys in this room. If you use code Philadelphia, you'll get that at half price. You'll get that at a 50% discount. You could start today for £222, which is about $300, I believe. It's about $300. I think it's $330. You could do that. That code is only for you. That's only for you because you showed up. It's only valid until April 7th. Please go have a look at that course online, that program online. You get loads of coaching with me, as well as all of that content I've given you, and it's lifetime access. And this is how I'm promoting doing life and doing business, because it freaking works. I don't hustle, I don't stress, I don't struggle, I don't suppress my emotions, and I'm constantly listening to that inner voice and calling on this amazing light consciousness that I have, that all of my clients have, and I believe all of you women should have, because you are the founding females from Philadelphia, right? And I believe that you are ready to take this work and take this consciousness and take this light and impact the world in a magnificent way. In a way that when you look back in 12 months' time, you'll go, holy crap, she was right. Look at me, I'm fabulous. And you are, and you're ready. And I'm now ready for Q&A. So
I've been doing what I've been doing a long time, 27 years as a photographer. And it started changing on me. And I'm like, now what, now what? So I brought along this amazing woman who has taught me many great things, and out of her art, I developed a team building experience. Effortlessly, the first one shows up. I go to a client, I go, hey, do you guys do team buildings at your big, huge company? She goes, yeah. I said, do you have a minute? Yes. I tell her, I don't even have a paragraph, like she's perfect. Let's do it. So I do it. We make money, everybody gets paid, I hired a videographer, he comes in, and then I stopped. I absolutely stopped. And I kept going, well, the video's not good enough. This isn't good enough. Is it really gonna work? Will people really want to do this? I really started questioning, and it stopped. What I truly know is our path.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what part of you is not okay with being successful? Which part of success is scary?
I'm gonna cry.
Cry. Safe space.
I'm gonna let these women who work for me down. They count on me. So that's the fear, that if I put my ass on the line and I really show up and I've got the idea then something comes in and says, but if you fail, you're gonna have to, you won't have the studio, you won't be able to pay your people, and it's never happened. But there's this thing that shows up, and I put something else in the way, and it's not about the video's not good enough. It's not about whatever I make up in my head.
So you're making yourself responsible for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really hard. You need to move into an energy of 0 fucks. Because the only person's life you are responsible is yours. And it's okay to love them, and it's okay to nurture them and nourish them and provide a platform for them. But ultimately, this is your life. And actually, whilst you're trying to maintain responsibility for your awesome team, you're letting down humanity. You need to step up in an energy of, I give 0 fucks what happens to them, because I am here in service, and I am here for the greatest, highest good of all. And if I don't do that, I'm letting myself down. I'm not fulfilling my soul purpose, and I'm not contributing in the epic way that I know I can. You would not be getting these ideas unless you were capable of fulfilling them. This is also another way the universe works. Every idea we get, ladies, we can do. You wouldn't have that idea unless it was possible, right? So allowing your fear, allowing your ego to get in the way is okay, but you get to say to your fear and you get to say to your ego, okay, that's okay, I recognize why you're there. That's to keep me sane and that's to keep me safe. But in order for me to serve, I give 0 fucks. Because then it becomes about you. Because in order for you to contribute to the highest, greatest good of all, you have to contribute to the highest, greatest good of self. And whilst you are so busy being the crutch and being the responsibility for other people, you cannot be the crutch and the responsibility for yourself. So you take that brave step forward and you lead fiercely. You become the pioneer for the new age. You become the truth teller and the leader and the healer. And you will be as magnificent as you see in your imagination and in your visions. I promise. Okay?
How do you follow that question?
Any more questions? Yeah? Hi.
How do you stay focused? Because I feel like every day I might start with good intentions, but then life gets in the way. How do you stay focused?
Distractions. Every distraction is an assignment. So every time you feel yourself getting distracted, every time you feel yourself going off on a tangent, that's the universe's way of saying to you, what's your name?
Liz.
Liz. That's the universe's way of saying to you, Liz, do you really want this? You woke up this morning and you were really focused on this thing, but I'm going to dangle a fishy here, I'm going to dangle a fishy there, I'm going to tempt you with all these other things because I'm not sure you really want this. So your focus is your devotion to yourself. Your devotion to the thing in question, the devotion to the thing that you're working for. And actually, if that thing that you're working towards isn't meant for you, then no amount of devotion is going to get you there anyway. You will keep getting distracted. So you've got 2 options here. You can either honor your distractions as assignments and go, no, I'm choosing not to get distracted because I'm devoted to my cause. Or you can ask yourself, do I really want this thing? Or have I just convinced myself that this is the thing I should be doing? Can I ask what the thing is?
I don't even know what the thing is.
Okay. Okay.
But every day, I feel like every day I start my day and I try to say I'm going to stay focused on X, Y, and Z today. And every day it goes on.
Is that because X, Y, and Z serves the greatest, highest good of all? Or perhaps they don't, which is why you've been pulled in other directions. And if they do serve the greatest, highest good of all, and if these things really do contribute to making your life epic and abundant, are you finding distractions because you're not entirely sure that that's what you want to do? Because it's scary? All of those distractions are assignments. So next time you're faced with one, look at it. Go, what are you distracting me from? Are you pulling me towards the thing that I really need to be doing to serve? Or are you distracting me because you are recognizing the fear in me that doesn't really want to do this great, big, amazing thing because that's scary as fuck? Yeah? That help?
Yeah.
Cool. Hi.
Okay. Earlier you were talking about morality, the law of morality, and you were talking about sometimes you have to determine if you are to help this person or if they need to go through it. And I know it's about discernment. You did say that, but can you kind of talk a little bit more about how you can tap into that discernment? Because I think a lot of times we as people, women, we want to help. And even now, even with my own children, it's I think I have to just he has to walk his path.
Right. So you play out both scenarios in your head. So you kind of think as one way. Do you guys have bypasses here? Like a highway bypass? Yeah, you know what I mean? Where there's like a road that kind of just skips around all the inner city stuff, like a ring road. Do you have those? Sorry, like translation from English to American so hard. The road that skips all of the crap and goes round. Expressway, right? Thank you. We're there. So you have to play out two scenarios in your head. The expressway is with your healing. You express them to this thing. The other way is all the country roads and all the ins and outs and the ups and the downs and all the other stuff. Play those scenarios out in your head and go, well, if they experience up and down and left and right and all of these things, will that make them a greater, stronger person? Will they be more capable of fulfilling their soul purpose and serving the greatest, highest good of all humanity if they do it that way? Or is that just unnecessary crap that I can help them avoid? For example, self-love. We have children who are so down on themselves because they're constantly comparing themselves to the media. And you know, guys, suicide rates in young boys has gone through the roof because they don't feel like they have a safe outlet to express their emotions. So if you had a teenage boy who was struggling with stuff and you had the opportunity to help and heal, I'd be saying help and heal, because his potential outcome is suicide because he hasn't got a safe space. If they're dealing with a scenario at school with bullies where they need to learn to stand up for themselves, maybe that's something they need to go through themselves. Rather than you jumping in and being the mom and saying something to the school and getting all involved, maybe if you think it's something they can handle themselves with your guidance and your knowledge and you can download some consciousness into them, then do that. But you've got to play out the scenarios and say what is necessary for their growth and what is not necessary, what's actually damaging. Do they need to understand about self-love and the media impact and all these other things, if that's relevant? Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the expressway, thank you. I think we have one here and then I'll come over there, thank you.
So, when you were talking about like contributing to the highest, greatest good for yourself so that you can contribute to the world, I have a coaching business right now, and I help people who are like no longer happy at work and in their life find their joy and all of that. But I also I know what my pull is. I know what my calling is, and I haven't. So my calling is to use like creativity, art making as a way to work through stuff, because I had a traumatic experience as a child where therapy, church, whatever didn't work, and the one thing that did was creativity. And I haven't really infused it into my business, and every time I go to, I get so scared. I just get like, oh, I can't go to the studio tonight because X, Y, and Z. So I don't know if there's like, if you have thoughts on like how to, like my masculine energy, like I definitely have that, is like how do I like plow through it, because that's where I would, right? But like, do I plow through it, or how do I like approach that?
I think let's look at the fear. And intuitively, I'm feeling that there's a resistance to meshing your creativity into what you do, because that means looking at your trauma a bit deeper. And there's a part of you that's terrified to share your trauma and that rawness and that vulnerability, because you've got yourself into a very safe space as a coach where you're an expert and you're a leader, am I right? Yeah? So let's find a safe space for you to go deeper into this trauma. Do you want to go now?
I don't think we have time to go.
Okay. If you want to book a discovery call with me, 20 minutes, free, no obligation to do anything, we'll deep dive on that trauma, we'll fix it. Okay? On my website. You're welcome to do that. Do you think that's what it is?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll fix that. Is that all right? Can I take one more?
I think we take one more.
Okay. It's a lady over here. Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, hi.
Okay. So I think it's kind of building on this whole thing, getting a little derailed during the day, but I live in this world where I feel like I'm in a really great place with my life and my job and my children and family, but I want to take the next step, and I always feel like something good is going to happen, and then I get in this world where I'm really excited about it, but then I try to speak it, and I can't speak what I'm excited about or I know is going to take me to kind of to that next step, and it's awful. It's like I feel like I'm trapped, but like I'm very happy, and I feel this vibration inside that's so happy, but then I try to speak what I want to do, and I can't speak.
Why are you scared of sharing your truth? So what's the worst thing that would happen if you owned and truly stepped into that truth of this is who I am and this is what I want to do? What's the worst case scenario?
Really nothing. I don't know. I guess it's out and then it's not real anymore. It's not exciting anymore. I don't know. I need to think about that a lot more.
Because there's a fear it'll get shot down by other people?
Yeah.
That it's safer inside your own head than it is out in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, well, same thing I kind of put over here. Is it serving the greatest, highest good of all humanity staying in your head? Then can we get into an energy of zero fucks and be like, fuck it. If this falls apart, if I look a fool, if I humiliate myself, if everybody laughs at me, if nobody jumps on board, I give zero fucks. I give zero fucks, because what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is failure. But there's no such thing as failure, because failure is just one way we know that doesn't work, so we try a different way. But it's that bravery and it's that courage and it's that consciousness. This is what I mean with light consciousness. It's being fully aware of that voice inside of you and allowing that to stream from you in abundance. And there's an energy block here, because when you fully step into your truth and when you articulate what it is that you want to do and what you are doing, who you are and who you be, you're making an energetic commitment to the universe. And that commitment and that investment comes back to you times 10, usually in the form of abundance. This is how alchemy works. I know I said I couldn't touch on it much. Everything that you invest in yourself, be that financially, energetically, or emotionally, the universe will reward times 10, because you must first fill your own vessel up so that you can serve others, right? So for you, you're not even allowing anything in order to fill so that you can overflow into others. So it's allowing yourself to take that leap of faith and then trust fall into the arms of the universe. Because if this idea is inside of you and it excites the crap out of you, it's going to excite the crap out of other people, promise. You've got to take that leap of faith. Please do. Because Harriette said, if nothing else. All right, I think I have to wrap up. Ladies and gents, thank you so much. What an absolute privilege to share this space with you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up. I hope I see lots of you tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then hopefully on the Light Consciousness program over the next 12 months. And let's go do what the Dalai Lama said and change the world.